Hey everyone, Sean from QWERTY Comics. Thanks for joining today. So I got a few requests from some folks about kind of going over what I do to clean books. And first, want to start off, I am no pro. There are steps way beyond what I know how to do. I'm still researching some of that. Some of that has to do with like actual like getting rid of staining and whatnot. I definitely haven't done that. But I'm looking to experiment and try and see what I can do. But I think I've gotten down some good like cleaning tips on cleaning up some of that like dirt and those white areas in the books. And so today I wanted to show just some of the steps I've done. And so I'm going to be using a book that's in kind of rough condition and kind of just go over the examples. I took some before photos and then I'll take some after ones. And I just want to kind of show the condition of the book now with what I'm going to be focusing on. So before we get started, if you aren't a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button down below. Comments are always welcome, and give it a thumbs up if you like it. So the book I'm going to be cleaning is Ms. Marvel number 6. This book is definitely mid-grade, but it has some opportunity to move up. Move up a little bit better just by like cleaning it and pressing it. And so if you look closely, you can see that the whites aren't all in best condition, and you can also see that the cover doesn't really lay super flat. There's a lot of wrinkles in it, some indentations. And on the back cover, you can see that there is some dirt at the top, throughout the comic, and in the white areas. So, so let's see how much better I can make this. Okay, so here's our comic. Just bear with me. This is the first time I'm doing it, so it might look a little interesting. So this is my workstation, and everything varies depending on what I'm trying to fix and clean up on the book. I did want to let you all know the first thing I do before cleaning any books is wash my hands. Super important, and you don't want to be putting any other grease from your hands onto your books. Wash them with soap, water, dry them off. Don't put any lotion on your hands because that can stain the books. And as far as like cleaning the books, you can use these erasers here. I forget what they're called, but I can find it. And then I have these other Pentel erasers, and then I have this little like pencil eraser that has a little eraser in it for getting those like harder to reach spots. This is more for like larger. Then I have a microfiber cloth that I use to just wipe off some stuff. Sometimes you can get stuff off with this. I've seen people use cotton rounds as well. Again, I'm no pro with this, but I've seen some good results with it, and I've been pretty happy with it. So what I'm going to do today is clean up a lot of the white in this Ms. Marvel section. So if I bring it up closer, you can kind of see it in the R specifically. But one thing to remember is what an eraser does is it actually rubs the fiber of the paper away. So with that, you need to be very gentle with it. You don't want to do any color rubbing with it. So that's why this is not going to work, but the pencil will. And so I'm just going to start in this R section for you all. And let me see if I can zoom in. That's as far as I can zoom. So let's see what we can get here. So I'm just going to go gently in this section here. If you don't feel comfortable putting your hands down, you can use the microfiber cloth as well. And gentle. And I think we did pretty well. So ours looking good. Okay, I'm just gonna do the rest of the title here. So make sure it's in the center at the M. This is coming off nice and easy. Again, I'm trying to avoid going into any of the color spots, so just staying in that white, because I don't want to rub any of the color away. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to finish all the lettering and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I'm done with that. So let's take a look. Looks a lot better. Yeah, obviously you can see all the crinkles in the page, but you can see it really got rid of a lot of the gunk that's in the whites. So now I'm going to clean this section up here. Might be a little hard to see, but there is some marking in here, and you have to be really gentle because you don't want to rub out any of the black. So this is where this is going to come into play, this little pencil friend here. So let's see how well I can do this. I have in the past rubbed some of the black ink away. So some of the books are just so delicate that you want to be very careful. So I'm just going in the white area, and if I can, just gently go between some of the letters, but very, very light. Okay. That looks better. I just got these little pencils too, so these eraser pencils. So they're working so good because I only had the rectangular eraser, and that's where I rubbed off some of the ink on a book. It wasn't an expensive book, I was just practicing. And so this is just gently lifting any of the dirt that's on it. A little left here. And then sometimes you just have to accept it for what it is. So, come on, focus. There you go. That looks a little bit better. And there is some gunk here, but that doesn't look, I can't erase it because that will take off the yellow. I can, no. So sometimes if there's like gunk on it, someone's probably gonna scream at me, but I'll actually just like breathe on the book to get it a little bit moist, and then I'll use this cloth to just kind of rub over it. So it adds like a little bit of moisture. Picked up some of it. You can see on the cloth. Oh, I picked up some of it right here. So that's good. And now I'll do the little the comic code. Very gentle because it's such fine little text. I'm just trying to get some of the gunk off of it. And then I'll do this white here. Again, this is probably just I'm not going to get much off, but I'm just going to go very light. It's working a little bit. It's not the best, but it is better than what it was before. Just removing some of that gunk in there. And then the last white spot on here is the just the barcode section. So. Again, you want to be very gentle, and I've noticed that these erasers work really well with those older covers. And so if you have a newer book that has like a different gloss cover, this might not work. So it just depends on the durability of the paper. I've just seen a lot of paper durability just go down with newer books, and so it's just more fragile. Yeah, I think that's all that we can get, really. I'm noticing when I'm looking at this cover, it's actually some of the glossiness up here at the top. You can kind of see it right above the yellow, that some of the gloss is kind of like chipping away. So that's where like a ding would happen in this book, but I think that's all I can do for the front cover for whitening the whites. So now we'll go to our back side. So let me just recenter the shot, and then I can show you what I'm going to focus on. Okay, so our back cover. So the areas that I'm going to clean is going to be up here, all across there. There's white all in here that needs to be cleaned up, and here, in this like cutout, and then down here. And then I might use this cloth to just like wipe over in some of these areas. Just see how much we can fix it. The press itself is going to fix a lot of the flaws that this book has. There's so much crinkling. You can tell it was well read. It's not going to get all of them out, but it looks like there's a lot of finger denting. And then, so let's jump into some cleaning. Okay, so I'm gonna work this section here. So this is the back edge of the book. So you got to be really careful to move in the opposite direction of the binding. Because if you go back and forth, you're going to cause a bend in the paper. So at a certain point you can hold it down, and then you can go back and forth. But it's nearer as you get closer to the edge. Anytime you're close to the edge of the paper, you want to be very gentle because you can tear. So always do a stroke that like kind of goes off the paper a little. I was cleaning a book the other day, and after cleaning it, I revealed that it had a lot of staining on it, which I didn't see because it was so dirty. So I'm going to see about if I can try to lighten up those stains a little bit with the cleaning process. go. It's almost there. As good as can be. Much better. Then I'm going to try to do these letters. Again, very gentle, trying to use just like the eraser is kind of like formed into a point in a little ways, so I'm using that to clean up those areas. I'm trying to avoid the red. Just also I'm letting folks know, I want you to all know, I am not sending this book to get graded. It's not a key. There's nothing really fancy about it. I just wanted to show it more for tutorial. So I just did want to point that out there. I think if I was going to send this out for grading, and if it was a high valued book, I would probably be taking even more delicate time to clean it and just really look it over. This is a little harder than I haven't. I feel like a lot of the books are usually that like Jack Kirby cover. It's obviously that's from a certain time period, but it's interesting. This is the first time I've seen this like fishing set in the back. So let's do this white area here. This is going to be a little tough. But I think we'll be okay. Yep. And this book, like, the dirt's coming off so easily, which is nice. Sometimes it can take a lot to come off. Okay. This one's looking good. All right, I'm going to do the rest and show you after. And last but not least, I'm going to do this section here and then this section here. And we're pretty much done. So again, doing the away from the spine. And if I'm near the edge of the paper, I'm just kind of like gliding towards the edge of the paper as I swipe. Again, holding the paper a little, I can apply a little bit more pressure, gentle as I get towards the edge. Okay, and then here, this part. This part's a little bit harder because it's thinner text, so that means it can rub really easily if you're not careful. So sometimes I just say I'm gonna just skip that area. But the finer the eraser is, the more you can get into those little sections. I think that's all I want to do. I don't want to rub it anymore. Okay, so we're looking at a cleaned let me zoom out and we'll re-look at it all. Actually, I can show you this up close now. So this is all cleaned up here. It's all cleaned in this section. You can see some dirt, but definitely not as bad as before. Okay, so we have a clean back cover and a cleaned front cover. And I think the main thing I want to really show off is that there's so many dents in it. You can kind of see it like that. See all the dents. And the back cover has many as well. So that cleaning definitely has made it look better. And my goal now is to do a humidifying chamber and a press. And that should bring a lot of this back to life. And so I did share a link to go more in depth, but I'll show to how I do my pressing, but I'll show it here as well, just so that you all have that. So, okay, let's go on to the humidifying chamber. Okay, so I have my plastic tub for the humidifying chamber. I have some bowls that I have a cookie rack on, and then this is magazine board, like backing boards for storage. And I have the non-gloss side facing the comic. So there's one on the bottom, and then I'm going to put this on top. It's on top of a face cloth. Put a face cloth over it like this. And then I'm going to fill this bowl here of boiling water. And then we're going to cover it. I like this tub because you can snap it closed. So the steam is going to, fill this up, and it will keep the face cloth will keep it kind of moist, and that will then allow the paper or the comic to absorb some of the water. It's not going to get wet or anything. It's just going to get that sort of a little bit of a damp feeling, just so that we can start playing with the sizing of the paper. So when we press it, it will help with the smoothing out of certain areas and whatnot. So the thing is this needs to wait overnight. So what I'll do is in the morning I'll continue recording, and we will see what the putting into the press is like, and then that's some more time. So this whole process does take some time, but I want you to see how the book will look after. It will look much better. I think it will probably get a whole grade bump, if not two, depending on the severity of everything. But till tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day. So let's take this out and put it in the press. Moved around a little, so just disregard that. So a good thing to note is to always let your humidifying chamber just kind of like air out so it doesn't grow mold in it. So the book now it's a little more flimsy feeling. Definitely has that damp feeling to it. So now I just need to put some thicker board in the center of it. Here. And since the staples run flat here, I only need one. Those newer books with those like butterfly staples, you need two there so you don't get a staple indentation. And then this will go here. This is just laser paper. This goes here. So now let's put it in the press. Okay, so I have my press set to 140. That's for these older books. And I have a piece of magazine board with the non-glossy side. This is some Teflon. So our book's here. We're going to move it over to here. So I need two hands for this, so just give me a second. Okay, our book is there. And now I need to put another piece of archival paper here. Don't need to. And then more of this Teflon. And even this out. And then the pressure on this is going to be very, not too hard. Just, it's like a gentle, so you can kind of see how it just kind of snaps in. And it's gonna press for, I'm gonna do half an hour. And then it will cool in the press for, I think I'm gonna do, it's the morning now, I think I'm gonna let it cool off all day and then take it out tomorrow morning, and then I'll show it to you tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours and our book is now pressed. It looks much better. Let's see, you can see how it kind of has a smoothness to it now on the cover. A lot of those wrinkles are gone. There are some finger dents in there. If I really wanted to, I could use the ball roller on it. I'm not going to on this because the book is in such poor condition that it's not, I don't think it's going to make much of a great difference. There's some, I don't know if you can see them that well. You can kind of see some finger dents in this area right here. As far as the back cover, it looks so much better. The back cover, you see how smooth it looks now. So this clean and press definitely, I would say, improved the grade quality of this. I think there are some opportunities with this book. Like it could use a more fine-tooth ball rolling in certain areas. But the book is nice and flat now. So I think this is overall, good. If I was going to submit it for grading, I would spend a little bit more time for it, but I'm not submitting it for grading, so it's good where it's at. So exciting. There we have it. I hope everyone was able to take away some learning moments of like how I go through the press and clean process for my books. And I try to look at every book as an opportunity to clean it in some way, especially those older books. And then sometimes I just want to also just challenge myself to see how well I can clean a book. So let me know your questions. Did you have any, did you need me to clarify anything that I did in this video? Or do you want me to show another technique, anything like that, please let me know. Maybe I'll even start just experimenting with information I read and just trying it out. I might damage some books in the process, but I can use some like books that don't have any value or anything like that, or they're really falling apart, or possibly like I feel like I would never throw away a comic, but like close to that in some way. But let me know. And as always, please make sure to subscribe so that you will get notified for future content. And please give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great one. Bye.